Hello, and welcome to our 8th week of Hebrew. This week we have two big events in our class. One is that you have your midterm, and let me just give you a little bit of information about your midterm. It's going to be composed of two parts. Each part will be worth 50% to equal, of course, 100%. The first part will be 50 vocabulary words. These 50 words will be taken from chapters 3 all the way through the last chapter that we have, which was on Hebrew numbers. So be very familiar with your vocabulary, and also be very precise with your vocabulary. There's a difference between judge and one who judges. There's a difference between daughter and house or home. So be certain that you know the distinctions between those words and that you're able to deliver a correct definition of those words or translation of those words. So 50 vocabulary words coming from chapters 3 all the way through our last chapter, which was on Hebrew numbers. The second portion will be defining the gender, person, and number of nouns, as well as some prepositions and some translation work. So again, be very precise. And if you come across a sentence that I've asked you to translate and you only recognize one or two words, go ahead and give me those one or two words, because I will give you partial credit. It's not an all or nothing event. And remember that there's a difference between dabar, which means word, and then the cognate of dabar, which means on account of or because of. And I'll look for you to translate that correctly, so be aware of that. The majority of your midterm will come directly from your previous quizzes. So a very good way to study for this quiz or this midterm is to go back over your previous 6 quizzes and be very familiar with those. Now the vocabulary is open game. I think along the way I've hit just about every word between chapters 3 and all the way through on our chapter on numbers, but just know that with vocabulary, anything is game, even if you've not seen it on an actual quiz. So that's for your midterm. Now the other big event is your word study. I've been somewhat slow getting your materials up, your specific instructions, so I've extended the due date for your word study for an entire week, and I think that makes it October 19th when it's due. I've posted some very specific instructions with regard to your word study. I've also posted for you a list of places that I know you can get good materials for your word studies. I've also given to you a list of words to choose from. I think I've given you a total of 7, and I know that you will be able to find information easily in any of the listed materials on those 7 words. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to write an introduction, nothing more than a couple of sentences. You're going to want to do an etymology of that word. Where did that word come from? What is the root of that word, and how is that root used? Then you're going to want to go into how is that word used throughout the pages of the Old Testament, and what, if anything, is significant about that word. When I was doing my graduate work and I was taking Hebrew, I had to do a word study, and I did mine on galah, which means to uncover, but also it's a word for revelation. And it just opened up my eyes to the depth and the richness of what these Hebrew words mean. So I'm hoping that this will encourage you to do the same thing, that this will not be just a one-time event. Now, if I'm uncertain as to what you guys have available as far as the list of references that I've given to you. I am traveling a great deal right now, so I am in one spot for the next 4 days. So if you can look at those words and see that, hey, I really want to do my word study on this word, but I don't have the ability to get to some of this material, if you will let me know, I will do my best to see if I can scan some material and send it to you. But you'll have to let me know within the next 4 days. And today is Tuesday, so that means you must let me know before the weekend because I'll be on the move again, and I'll be away from my resources. So that's your word study. I've posted a sample word study for you. This is from a graduate student from a friend of mine. When he was teaching Hebrew at Regent, this is a paper that a student turned into him, and I've just always used it because it's such an excellent paper, and will hold a very high standard for you and for what I'm expecting in this project. If you've not done well on your quizzes, if you're struggling, this paper can help you gain back some of your grade. So I really encourage you to take this assignment serious, to work diligently, to do a good job. So with that, you've got your midterm coming up, 50 vocab questions, one half. Second half will be the grammatical translation issues. They will be two. They will be put into Populi as two individual distinct quizzes. Each of them will be worth 50 points. But that's going to compose your midterm. And I am anticipating to have those up for you within the next 24 hours. So bless you guys and have an awesome week.